Good morning, class 11 students. This is the second part of the chapter, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, written by an Armenian American writer, William Saroyam. So, before we begin our today's session, I think we are supposed to revise the portion we covered in the last video. And before we do that, let me just highlight the theme of the chapter once again. The theme, the values, integrity and honesty. These are very important values that one must have in his life. And the chapter talk about a tribe whose hallmarks are trust and honesty, and they are actually the poor people, but they haven't lost their integrity and honesty. I think this is something we should learn, because we have heard from people that if you are poor and if you are poverty stricken, then it means you won't be honest, you will be dishonest. But this tribe defies this thing. Understand? So I think we should begin with the portion we covered in the last video first. So the story is about two Armenian boys, and they are actually very fond of riding horses. And one of them is Aram. He is 9 years old, and Murad, he is the elder one. He is 13 years old, and they belong to its Garo-Galanian tribe. And the people of this tribe, they are perfectly known for their honesty and integrity and trust, and they are very trustworthy people, right? But Murad has stolen a horse, and he enjoys the riding for 1 month, and then he brings the horse to his cousin so that he could actually fulfill his wishes. But and Adam, he is also ready to to be a part of this this act. And they both have forgotten that actually the only pride the pride they have is just about their honesty and trust. So they justifies their act by saying that they have borrowed this horse for the purpose of fulfilling their desire, and they don't intend to sell the horse to anybody, so which means it is not stealing. But if you will consider all the pros and cons, I think they're responsible, they are culprit, because if you cannot take anything from anybody without his permission, without his consent. So that is why, according to us, it is equivalent to stealing. But these boys, they do not understand it. And so how the chapter began. Aram recalls an experience when he was 9 year old. One morning, right, his early in the morning, his cousin Murad, he came across his window, and he tapped on the window. And when Aram attended, he found that his cousin Murad was sitting on a beautiful white horse, and he invited him to come outside so that he could have a ride on this horse. But it was very extraordinary for Adam, because it is not so easy to have a white horse, and given the fact when you are so poor, so it was very hard for Adam to believe whether he was in reality or he was dreaming. But he came to this realization that all whatever he was seeing, it was true. And there was one question that was bothering him, that how did Murad manage to get this horse? Did he steal it? And but he did not get any straightforward answer from his cousin Murad. So and then he justified, and then Adam justified. We see that Adam is justifying this act by saying that it is not a bad thing to borrow, or to borrow this horse without the owner's permission to enjoy for riding. Now we will continue with the portion we covered. With the remaining portion, right? And also, let me just remind you, when we wound up this chapter in the last session, the parting paragraph was about Uncle Khushro, and the paragraph talked about that Murad has craziness of his Uncle Khushro. So let's find out. Okay, so let me highlight the paragraph first. That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Okay, I think this was the parting paragraph. Let me just highlight it first. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. So here in this paragraph, the narrator, he says that he says that everyone, including me and the students, my students who are reading this, who are watching this video, we all have a member in our family who is very crazy enough, right? And this can be found in every family, in every tribe. So he says that my cousin Murad is considered to be the natural descendant of this crazy streak in our tribe. So in their family, who has this craziness? Murad has this craziness, and before him was our uncle Khushro, and before Murad, who was famous for his craziness and crankiness, it was Uncle Khushro, an enormous man. This is a description of Uncle Khushro. He's an enormous. Enormous means huge, with a powerful head of black hair, dark hair, because and largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. It is actually the huge valley in California. A man so furious. Furious means who is very angry in temper and so irritable, which gets irritated so easily, and so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. And he's very impatient, and he does not talk politely whenever he speak. You could actually see that, and understand. You could actually see and find out that he is shouting, and he says these lines very often. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was own son Arak. So what happened, no matter what anybody, so it doesn't matter what other people talk about him, but in this paragraph you will see that his own son Arak. Arak is an Armenian name. He mentions something very odd about his father. It was his own son running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trim to tell him their house was on fire. So one day what happened, when Uncle Khushro was having his mustache trimmed, his son Arak, he came running, and running 8 blocks. He ran 8 blocks in order to reach the barber shop where his father was there, where his father was, right? So he mentioned, he warned his father that our house is on fire. But Uncle Khushro, he did not take any action. He just simply sat on the chair and he said, "It is no harm, no pay no attention to it." And the barber was shocked, and he reiterated the boy's word, "But sir, your house is on fire." And the Uncle Khushro, he again shouted and he said, "It is no harm, I say." So you could actually see that how foolish and how crazy Uncle Khushro is. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, and Murad is considered the natural descendant of this. Descendant means someone who has, who is deriving appearance or characters, from a parent or from a relative. So although Murad's family was Zorab, who was practical and nothing else. So actually, Murad's father, he is Zorab, right? He's practical and he's nothing else, but he does not has any. He does not have any of his father's traits or character. That's how it were. That is that's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. So this line highlights, it conveys that it is very common in this tribe that that you may be your father's son, but it is not necessary that you will have your father's quality or character. And this we can clearly see through the character of Murad, because Murad's father is somebody else, but he has his uncle's traits, character, right? The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Capricious means which is very unpredictable and not fixed. So that it is very unpredictable and very uncertain to find out that who will and receive what trait or what character. So we rode, and my cousin Murad sang for all anybody knew we were still in the old country, where at least according to some of our neighbors we belonged, we let horse run as long as it felt like running. So now we are back to the main, the main plot of the chapter. They're riding the horse, and they reach this countryside. It is a huge area, and they let the horse running. And then what happened? Let's find out. At last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride horse alone." So after a while, Murad said that he wanted to ride the horse alone. So he asked Adam to get down, but Adam also wants to ride this horse alone all by himself. So he's requested, but Adam is not prepared. He doesn't know how to ride a horse. But to which he gets this response, that is up to the horse. My cousin said, "Get down. The horse will let me ride," I said. So he got a very odd response from his cousin, that it is not I who will decide whether you will ride the horse alone or not. It is actually up to horse will decide. So Adam said, "Okay, I believe that the horse will definitely let me ride the horse, let me ride itself. We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." So in this line, it is highlighted that Murad, he is considered crazy, but he also has some very peculiar or a strange way with animals. He says that he has some understanding with animal. And then his cousin Adam, he also mentions that he has some understanding. He also has some understanding with animals, but I think which is not true. Only Murad has some understanding. "For sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." And then he asked his cousin to get off the horse once again. So he got down, he alighted from it, and he again reminded his cousin Murad that, "Please, you have to let me the horse, let me ride the horse alone." So I got down. My cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir." Wazir, it is an Armenian word which means run. So he kicked the horse, and he shouted, "Run." The horse stood on its hind leg. Hind means rear legs, and snorted. Snorted means a noisy sound. The horse made a noisy sound and burst into a fury of speed. Burst into a fury of speed means it ran so fast that it was a loveliest sight thing I had ever seen. Who is I here? Adam. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned, dripping wet. So this is the place where where he rode his horse. He went across a field of dry grass and then to an irrigation ditch, right? And then when he came back, he was all wet. The sun was coming up. "Now it's my turn to ride," I said. So because they left early in the morning, so now that they have almost there, the sun is rising. So now he's requesting. Adam is again requesting that he wants to ride it again alone. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Right, he said. I leaped to the back of the horse, and for a moment I knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. So now it's Adam's turn. He leaped to the back of the horse, and he jumped onto the back of the horse, and just for this particular moment, he actually he experienced this most awful, right, very weird, and this fear, and the horse did not move. "Kick into his muscle," my cousin Murad said, and he was informed that he was supposed to kick the horse muscle, right, in order to ride it. So what are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. So he gave him another warning that do not waste time, do not waste any second, because we have less time, because the sun has already risen, and it means everybody would be awake soon. So he asked him to hurry up. So I kicked into the muscles of the horse, and once again it reared and snorted. So he did the same. He kicked the horse muscle, and the horse snorted. It stood on its hind leg, and then it began to run and started running. And I did not know what to do. So instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikaran Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. So what happened? The horse, he wanted to take horse to the irrigation ditch, but the horse had, he could not control the horse. The horse ran towards the vineyard, right? And where it started, jumping over the vines. What is, jumping over? What is vineyard? It is actually a plantation of grape vines, right? So the horse jumped over 7 vines, and before I fell, and the narrator fell, and it continued running, and the horse did not stop. Uh, he fell on the ground. Adam fell on the ground, but the horse kept on running. My Murad came running down the road, and Murad was observing everything. He came running. I'm not worried about you, he shouted. We have to get that home. You got this way, I will go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I'll be near. So he informed him that, just forget about your this thing, whether you're injured or not by falling from the horse. The important thing is for us to get our whole back on the horse. I mean, it is very necessary for them to get back the horse, because uh, it can be easily spotted, right? So, and he told him that if you I'll go. They both departed. They both took the different ways, and he told him that if you came across, right, try to be gentle with him, and I will also come running. So I continued down the road, and my cousin Murad went across the field towards the irrigation ditch. It took half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. So it actually took them an hour, half an hour to got to go, to get the horse back. So, all right, he said, jump on, the whole world is awake now. What will you do? I said. So now Adam wants to know that what will they do with the horse. So he said, we will either take him back or hide him until tomorrow morning. So Murad says that we can do two things. We can hide it, or we can take it back. So let's find out what they will do. He did not sound worried, and I knew he would hide him and not take him back, not for a while at any rate. So Adam kind of aware that his cousin Murad, he would not he would not he would not give it back, right? He would hide it for surely. Where will we hide it? I said. So now Adam wants to know where the horse will be hidden. I know a place, he said. How long ago did you steal this horse? I said. It suddenly dawned on me that dawned on me means it, he came to, it occurred to him, right? So now he wants to know that how long has he been riding the horse, or when was, when he stole it. So I early morning rides for some time, and had come for me this morning only because he knew how much I long to ride. So actually, it's been a month. He has been riding the horse for a month, and now he has brought this horse to his cousin because he was aware that his cousin also has desire to ride the horse. So who said anything about stealing a horse? He said. Anyhow, I said, how long ago did you begin riding every morning? So not until this morning. He said. Are you telling the truth? I said. Of course not. He said. But if you are found out, that's what you are to stay. I don't want to both us to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning. So Murad in this paragraph, Murad said yes, that it's been a month, but you have to remember this thing, that we cannot we cannot let others find that we are actually lying. So in case if we come across any uncertainty, you are supposed to say that we got this horse today only, right? So that nobody would call us liars. Okay, and then that we started riding this morning, right? That is what he asked his cousin Adam to say this thing if he is asked. All right, he walked the horse quietly to the barn of the deserted vineyard. Barn means it's a large building on a farm in which animals and their food are kept, right? So which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fatwajian, right? So where are they hiding this horse? They're actually hiding this horse in a in a deserted barn of a farmer called Fatwajian, right? And it was a very prosperous vineyard that time, but now it is deserted, abandoned. So there are some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. We began walking home, right? So there are so this is where they have planned to hide the horse. And this is again, it is again, this word, this is a Romanian word which means this dry hay. So we began walking home. It wasn't easy, he said, to get horse to behave so nicely. At first it wanted to run wild, but as I've told you, I have a way with the horse. I can get it to want to do anything I want to do it. Horses understand me. So in today's session, I'm going to wind up this today's session with this statement, with this paragraph, that they hid the horse in the deserted vineyard of Fatwajan, and and when they were returning, he mentioned this to his cousin, that when he stole this horse, according to him, when they borrowed this horse, the horse was very wild, right? But as he has some way of understanding with the horse, he was able to manage him. He was able to make the horse understand. So that's all for today's session. In the next session, we will be covering the remaining portion of this chapter. Thank you everyone. Please do watch the video from the end to the beginning, and in case you have any question, you can find out and talk about it. Please do complete your homework. Never skip it. Thank you everyone.